Greetings, folks. Well, what an eventful evening yesterday evening when thousands of Kerry fans welcomed the All-Ireland Ladies Champions back to Kerry last evening with an emotional Lorraine Scanlon walking across Fields Bridge and then headed on to Headley's Bridge with the Brendan Martin Cup, where she was greeted by her family, neighbours and friends, but especially by her mother, Mary Scanlon, who has also won 5 All-Ireland medals playing with Kerry. And we also saw Lorraine being greeted by former Kerry All-Ireland winner Noreen Thompson of Headley's Bridge. And it was an emotional gathering for all these great women. The Brendan Martin Cup is named after the great Brendan Martin, who was a native from Tullamore in County Offaly. He was the first man to organise ladies' Gaelic football games back in the early 1970s. And he became the first treasurer of the newly founded Ladies Gaelic Football Association. So well done to all the Kerry ladies, and enjoy the celebrations and catching up with family and friends now over the next few weeks. Look, is this global economy heading now for a major worldwide recession? Look, there we see in the half-year's report from AIB Bank, they warned that a global credit crunch would severely impact the Irish economy and would lead to hundreds of thousands would lose their jobs in Ireland if a global credit crunch materialised. In my opinion, there's a major recession on the way. All you have to do now is take one look at Kerry County at the moment. It's the tourist capital of Ireland. And, when you look there, you see, places like Ballyhaig, Castlegregory, Ballybunion, Feenet, Dingle and Killarney. I mean, they're all being affected by, the lack of tourism. Even if you're in Killarney, you'll find it hard pressed to hear a few Yanks accents around the town. But look, I mean, they've used up all beds in Killarney, and in places like Ballybunion and Banna as IPAS centres. So, we don't have the beds here, Traitors I believe like Micheál Martin has sold out our country, sold out our culture, and other ministers and TDs have sold out our country and culture, and these must be held accountable now when the general election will happen. And we need as a nation now to stop blaming the TDs and ministers, and we need to educate ourselves in how to vote, because if we keep voting in the Micheál Martins, the Simon Harrises, the Helen McEntees, we're given these, in my opinion, the ammunition to keep going with this carnage and, in my view, destroy our culture and our communities and making our country not safe for women and our children and men, for all these undocumented, unvetted men coming into our country. Look, when you look at the similarities between the riots now in England over the past few days and Ireland over the anti-immigration protests that were also held in Ireland, I think these similarities extend beyond the superficial and extend to the deep state in immigration purgatory in which both societies find themselves in. Look, when you think of what happened in Belfast there on Saturday, where the Unionists and the Loyalists came together, and look, what I believe is all it took was, people or a person with their mobile phone and a Bluetooth speaker and 3 tricolours and to stand and together in fight for the safety of their children. To be honest, no politician in the south of this island or in the north of this island could ever have foreseen this coming, where Unionists and Loyalists would stand together. Certainly no Good Friday Agreement could achieve that, or not even now. We could be calling it the Good Saturday Agreement could achieve this. Look, even the old Sinn Féin back in their day couldn't achieve this. And look, we saw there our First Minister, Michelle O'Neill of Sinn Féin, said that there is no place anywhere in our island for racism or attacks on minority communities. But look, people of Ireland now are very sick of everything now that's happening. People have woken up, and they're not going to take this lying down. They don't want undocumented, unvetted men in their communities, and they're going to fight for their rights to be heard. And I I don't believe violence is a solution. I believe in peaceful protest, but I also believe in engagement from our ministers and our Taoiseach and our Minister for Justice. But we don't seem to be getting in communities in Kerry, getting any clarity. When we ask the questions and ask them to communicate with us in relation to Ballymullen Barracks and the modular homes in Tralee, we're still waiting back on communication from these. Look, you see there now, our Minister for Justice, Helen McEntee, there she was did a very, in my opinion, very choreographed interview with the Indo Daily interview with Ellen Coyne, which in my opinion was, I felt, it's very easy to interview someone when you know the questions that you've been answered, and I think that kind of comes across clearly if you look at that yourself. But that's my view on it. But Minister McEntee stated that in her interview that people who target her homes will not get away, get the better of her or anybody else. She also claims that in relation to deportations, which is a really challenging issue, she said, she's ramping it up with, help with extra Gardaí and extra people in immigration. She's looking at engaging with people who have been illegally, who are illegally here. As she said, deportation, she said, is most expensive and most consuming and not good for the individuals themselves, or not good for us, she said. She stated, while deportation is only a small part, she says, of the issue, the focus has to be on the other end in processing people faster. But she stated that it can take months to get someone deported if they appeal this. And she stated that numbers have quadrupled and are quadrupling again. But she is also investing, she said, in staff and ways to detect them and identify them. Sure, look, this is just, in my view, a complete joke. I mean, how can it take months to deport people? If you come here illegally with no documents and no passports, sure, isn't it very easy put them back on a plane and send them home? Simple as that. I still am of the belief, no passports, no entry. Look, guys, we need to tighten up the borders. We need to stand unified now, and it's great to see both north and south of the island of Ireland now coming together and protecting our children. So look, guys, I'll keep you updated, but look, you see what I'm up against in Ireland now. I'm looking for ye, the great people of Kerry, to come out now and vote number 1 for me in the upcoming general election, which I believe will be held in the second week in November. So look, I, Michelle Keane, am keen on my country, and I'm asking you now, the great people of Kerry, to come out now and vote number 1 for me in the upcoming general election, so I can represent ye, the great people of Ireland and Kerry, in Dáil Éireann. Gura míle maith agaibh.